Hello, I did my current event on Carl Holmes. So, Carl Holmes was the Philadelphia Police Chief Inspector. That is a picture of him. And then on the far right is a picture of an ex-cop that he used to work with that he assaulted. So, I'm going to go over some of the facts and kind of summarize this case up. So, sorry, just give me one second here. So he was arrested and charged with the sexual assault of three subordinate officers in October of 2019. During the duration of his career, there were multiple women who accused Holmes of sexual assault. And then in 2008, Holmes was accused of forcing a female officer into his patrol car and sexually assaulting her. And then later that year, he also called a female detective into his office and shoved his hand down her pants. And then, although multiple reports were made to the police commissioner at the time, Richard Ross, he did nothing about it. And neither did Carl Ramsey, who was the commissioner prior to Ross taking that position. So this had happened over multiple years. He was in this career field for 29 years, and he was a mentor to many young female cops that were starting out. And it had happened multiple times between 2002 to 2017, multiple cases, multiple times, and yet it just kind of kept getting swept under the rug, and he kept getting promoted. And so in 2013, Holmes was actually quietly named Chief Safety Officer of the Philadelphia School District, a position that essentially made him the district's top cop, responsible for coordinating resources between city and school police and overseeing the safety of students. And neither the police department nor the school district announced this. And then when the parents began to find out that he was going to be the chief safety officer at the school district, they began to express their concern about his past that they had heard about, because there had been two cases where he had been publicly accused of sexual assault. And so it wasn't an unknown thing to the public, except for the fact that only two of the cases became publicly known and not the many of other cases that had happened. So Ramsey, the police commissioner at the time, said to these parents, listen, he had an issue and I dealt with it. He worked his way back. It had nothing to do with juveniles at all, so one should have no bearing on the other. I found this to be very surprising, just because of the fact that both police commissioners were very much aware of what were happening. They had reports made to them multiple times by multiple different women, and yet they kept it under wraps. They kept promoting him, even to the point of him protecting schools. And I just don't understand why they would continue to allow this to happen. And I'm sure there's so many other people out there that would love his position and be great at it. And I'm just unsure why they kept him for so long. So I stated this to be leader-centered perspective. So according to Jackson and Perry, there is a continued assumption that the person in charge is the leader and therefore is the subject of leadership research. So I believe this to be true for this case because neither Ross nor Ramsey, the police commissioners, were leaders, because if they were, they would have not let this continue to happen to multiple other people. However, since everyone believed that Ramsey or Ross were in charge, they also did not try to stop anything, or they were possibly unaware. So whether it had been the other police officers, or the community, because they believed that these people were in charge, that they were the leader, and they were going to assume that they were going to take care of it. And unfortunately, they didn't, for the many women that were involved. So that is my current event, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.